Hey folks, today we're talking about Proxmox templates. If you are still creating every single VM from an ISO and going through the installation wizard every single time, this video is for you. By the end, you will have a reusable Ubuntu 26 LTS template that can spin up a new VM in seconds instead of minutes. If you are only interested in Cloud-Init templates, feel free to jump to the chapter using the timestamp below. But for everyone else, we will start from the beginning and build up step by step. Quick Proxmox intro. If you are new to Proxmox, here is a very quick overview. Proxmox is a Debian-based virtualization platform that allows you to manage virtual machine and LXC containers from a single interface. It's one of the most popular choices for homelabs because it combines virtualization, storage management, network, backups, clustering, and automation into one platform. Today, we will look at 3 different ways of creating VMs: manual installation from ISO, regular VM templating, Cloud-Init templates. And you will see why the third option is usually the best choice. Option number 1, manual VM creation from ISO. Let's start with traditional approach. If you've used Proxmox before, you've probably created a VM this way. If not, this is the classic workflow. First, upload your Linux ISO. Then, click Create VM and walk through the wizard. Define the VM ID and name, select the installation ISO, configure disk size, choose CPU cores, allocate memory, and configure network if you are using something other than the default bridge. Once that's done, create the VM and start it. Now we move to the installation itself. The screen may look a little different, but the process is usually select language, configure server setting, configure networking, choose storage and partitioning, create your user account and password, set the host name, select optional services for installation, and wait for installation to complete. After installation finishes, just reboot, remove the installation media if required, and log in. And that's it. You have a fresh VM. There is absolutely nothing wrong with this approach. For one-off VM, it's perfectly fine. The problem starts when you create new VMs regularly. Then you're repeating the same installation process over and over again. This is where templates come in play. Regular Proxmox templates. Let's take our existing VM and turn it into a template. To demonstrate the process, I'm going to clone the VM first and convert the clone into a template. The steps are very simple. Right-click the VM, select clone, enter a new VM ID, confirm. And after the clone finishes, right-click the cloned VM, select convert to template, confirm the warning. Remember, converting to a template is a one-way operation. A few seconds later, you have a Proxmox template. Give it a meaningful name and you're ready to use. Creating a new VM from the template is very easy. Right-click the template, select clone, enter VM ID and name, choose full clone, confirm. Few moments later, your new VM is ready. This is already a huge improvement comparing to installation from an ISO every time. But there is an important drawback. Let me start both VM to demonstrate it. VM number 250 is our original VM, and 252 was created from the template. If I run a command to get a machine ID on both systems, you will notice something interesting. The machine IDs are identical. That's because these VMs are essentially copies of the same machine. This can create issues with network identification, monitoring system, asset inventory tools, configuration management platform, and various automation workflows. The VM looks like different machine to us, but internally they still share some identity information. And that's exactly the problem Cloud-Init was designed to solve. Option 3. Cloud-Init templates. Before we start typing commands, let's understand the difference. Traditional ISO is an installation tool. You install the operating system manually. A cloud image is different. The operating system is already installed. Instead of installing it, you simply configure it during the first boot. Cloud-Init is the industry standard way of performing that initial configuration automatically. Ubuntu publishes official cloud images specifically for this purpose. For this section, we will use the command line. To make things easier, I will use the Proxmox shell available directly in the web interface, but you can use any SSH client if you prefer. All commands are available in the video description, so feel free to copy and paste them. The first step is downloading the Ubuntu 26 cloud image. I am storing it in the template ISO directory, so it's visible from the Proxmox UI, but you can place it anywhere you like. Once the download finishes, verify that the file exists. Now, let's create the virtual machine. I like using IDs in the 9000 range for templates, so they're easy to identify. I'm assigning 4 GB of RAM, 2 CPU cores, and default bridge networking. Adjust those values however you like. Once the command completes, you will see the VM appear in Proxmox. Next, import the cloud image into the VM. If your storage isn't named localzfs, replace it with the appropriate storage name from your environment. These 3 commands perform this configuration. The first attaches the imported disk. The second, set it as a boot disk. The third, expand the disk size to 50 GB. The original cloud image is much smaller, roughly 3 GB. So resizing now gives all future VM additional space automatically. Next, add the Cloud-Init drive. This is what Proxmox uses to pass initialization settings to the VM during the first boot. For networking, I simply using DHCP. If you want static addresses, Cloud-Init can do that too. Now, let's define our login settings. First, create a default user. Then, optionally define a password. I'm doing this only for demonstration purposes. In production environments, using SSH keys is usually a better and more secure option. And finally, provide an SSH public key. Make sure you're using the public key from the machine you will actually connect from. At this point, it's worth opening the Proxmox UI and quickly reviewing the hardware, Cloud-Init, and options tab just to make sure everything looks correct. Technically, the template is done, but this is also the perfect opportunity to customize it. If there are any applications or services that you would like to pre-install on every VM, do it right now. Steps will be the following. Start the VM, log in through the console or SSH based on your previous configuration, verify everything looks correct. For example, check disk size, check networking, and overall verify Cloud-Init completed successfully. For my environment, I always pre-install the QEMU guest agent. So I will update packages, upgrade packages, install QEMU guest agent, and enable the service. Quick tip. If enabling the service fails, just make sure the QEMU guest agent checkbox is ticked in the VM's option tab in the Proxmox UI and restart the VM. Alright, once all desired pre-installed software is completed, we need to prepare the VM for templating. This step is important. Do not skip it. These cleanup comments will do the following. Clean Cloud-Init state. Remove machine identity information. Remove SSH host keys. Remove command history. And finally, shut down the VM. The goal is to make every future clone behave like a completely fresh machine. With the VM powered off, right-click it and select Convert to Template. Confirm the action. Remember, it's one-way operation. And that's it. You now have a fully customized Cloud-Init template. Let's make sure everything works as expected. I will create 2 VMs from the template. A few minutes later, both systems are up and running. I can connect using either the password or SSH key, depending on how I configured the template earlier. Let's verify a couple of things. First, disk size. Looks good. Now, let's check machine IDs. As you can see, each VM has a unique machine ID. That's exactly what we want. Both machines originated from the same template, but Cloud-Init properly initialized them as separate systems. One final tip before we wrap up. Everything we've done today can be automated further. You can create VM from the CLIs, adjust resources, or manage everything through the Proxmox UI. If you resize the disk before the VM's first boot, Cloud-Init will automatically expand the file system and use the available space. That's one more reason Cloud-Init templates are so powerful. And that's everything I have for you today. If this video helped you save time in your home lab, please hit the like button and consider subscribing. We're still a small channel, and your support genuinely helps us create more content like this. One project done, hundreds more to go. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.